I said at the meeting, really important meeting, is we're going to talk about safety. And safety weighs, I was telling Dale earlier, safety weighs very heavy on my heart. You know, I'm thinking about you guys all the time out there, and you know, being safe. So we bring Dale so graciously to come in from Idaho for us, and you know, teach us. He's got some you know, great stories, a great video to show us. So with that being said, let's welcome up Dale Anderson.
Hello, my name's Dale, obviously. So I'm retired Metro. I did 8 years of police work in Salt Lake Valley before I came to Las Vegas. I retired in 2019 at the ripe old age of 48 and a half. That was pretty terrible, I promise you. You can retire before 50, it sucks, man. And I used to speak to people, I used to speak to realtors, offices, businesses, churches, and stuff like that while I worked for Metro about true acts of violence, okay? Tomorrow is not going to be like any other realtor safety training you've ever had, I promise you. Okay? I was here last year. This is like my 4th or 5th time being here, isn't it? I was here last year speaking here, and then I spoke at another place, and this young lady says, she took a class, some realtor safety class locally, and she asked the speaker, she said, hey, if I'm in an open house and I'm worried, can I put a baseball bat in the corner? And the speaker says, oh my God, no. Because if you have to use that thing, your broker's gonna get sued. What? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard when it comes to safety. Your broker doesn't care about getting sued. He's got insurance. He doesn't care about getting sued when it comes to your personal safety, stopping robbery, stopping theft, stopping sexual assault. He doesn't care about that. We're not going to talk about any silliness like that tomorrow. It's going to be 100% honest, in your face, truth about what you can do to identify, prevent a bad situation. And then, God forbid, something is happening to you. And we're going to watch a video here in just a minute of an amazing, powerful woman. Something happened to her, and she's going to tell you her story. Okay? But if something's happening to you, your mind's got to be right. If you sit there and go, oh, I can't do this, I'm not, you're exactly right. You know, I was in Hutchinson, Kansas, and this lady, she went to some self-defense training, and her thing is, not today, brother. That's her thing. That's where her mindset is. That's perfect. I don't think so. All of you in here are good people. So you probably haven't thought of some of the stuff we're going to talk about tomorrow. Because good people don't think about committing acts of violence on other people. You have to. You legitimately have to. You may have to just think something violent to do to someone else just so you can get home to your loved ones. Okay, so tomorrow, I promise you, it's going to be a little bit different than any other realtor safety. If you come, any other realtor safety training that you've had, it's going to be a lot different. The video I'm going to show.
Can we pause for just a second?
Yes, of course.
So when he's talking about tomorrow, so tomorrow he's coming back and doing a 3-hour CE class. It's going to be from 9 to 12. So CE tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you'll all get credit for it.
What's for breakfast?
I'm not bringing breakfast, so I don't know. All right. So I set up the video. I called her Michelle. She didn't want her name out there, and she didn't want to be on camera either. And I totally understand. And once you see her, hear her story, you'll understand why she didn't want to be on camera. This is a 100% honest scenario. It happened about a mile from here. Some of you might remember seeing the news clip. We'll see the news clip tomorrow. And how I learned about this is I live in North Idaho now, and probably one of the most beautiful places in the country. It's so stunningly beautiful up there. And I got an email from a friend of mine, hey, you got to watch this news clip. and it was a news clip of this attack. And immediately, I was enraged. Because, I love this city. I lived in this city for 20 plus years. How dare somebody do this in this city? And I care about every single one of you. I don't know very many of you, but I care about every single one of you and every one of you being safe. It's probably a good thing that I wasn't here and could put my hands on that guy, because I probably beat the dog snot out of him. He would have went to the hospital before he went to the jail, I promise you. It's heavy, the video's heavy, okay? It's gonna bring the mood right in the crapper for a little bit. The original interview, as a detective here in Las Vegas, I was a detective for 13 years and undercover for 8. I've spoke to and dealt with lots of really, really bad people. And we never dealt with anyone that wasn't a convicted felon. Everyone we dealt with was at least a 2 or 3 time convicted felon. Every one of these people I've interviewed, I think I'm very, I don't want to sound cocky because that's not the point, but I'm very successful at getting good quality interviews on people because I did it a lot. And I interviewed a lot of really, really bad guys. I was scared to death to call this lady and ask her if she'd tell her story. It really took me, I didn't want to call right away. I waited about 3 months. I called her, and it was beautiful. It went straight to voicemail. I'm like, oh, yes. So the coward that I am, I left her a voicemail detailing who I am, what I do now, because I almost exclusively, not 100%, but almost exclusively speak to realtors in 14, 15 states now. And she called me back the next day. She said, I'd love to do the interview. She says, the only thing I ask is you don't use my name. I understand that. And I can't be on camera. Okay? So the night before, I emailed her all the questions I was going to ask her. Because if you cry in front of me, you will get anything you want. Okay? I cannot handle women crying. I'll go buy you a new truck. No, I'm just kidding. I will sit there, I will be a boob. So I didn't want to trigger her during this interview. I wanted her to tell her story. So I emailed her all the questions I was going to ask her. You'll see I don't ask very many questions. I don't talk much. It's almost all her because she's so smart and so sharp. She answered virtually every single one of my questions telling her story. And she did not have a list of the questions in front of her. Just a super intelligent woman. She's being re-victimized right now by what? The court system. Okay? So you have to understand, if you find yourself in a situation like this, the court system, they are designed to prosecute bad guys, right? But there are a lot of rules when it comes to bad guys, and they have to follow the rules. So it re-victimizes our victims a lot. And she's going through that right now. I talk to her about once or twice a month to see how her and her family are doing, because I really legitimately care about her. So it's about 7 minutes. The original interview was 45 minutes long. It's way too long to watch. So I cut it down to the meat and potatoes of what happened to her. Okay? So it doesn't jump around too much. It's pretty good. Maybe? How are you?
Hi, I'm great, thank you. Happy to share my story. So this did happen a couple months ago, and I'm a real estate agent here in Las Vegas, and I sell new homes. So this actually happened at a model, and all of a sudden the door opens, and it is this guy walking in, and he's within a few feet of me, and I just kind of felt a little startled, probably, I guess is the best way. Wasn't afraid at that point, but like you could see, he looked homeless, baggy clothes, backpack, looked disheveled, dirty, he smelled like sweat, he reeked of pot. And so I stood up and greeted him like I would normally do to everybody. And he kind of walked around, and I did not follow him in every room. But I had texted my superintendent saying there's a homeless guy in here. So he called me, and he stayed on the phone with me while this guy was in here. He was in here for all of 5 minutes, probably not more than that. So he walked around, asked a couple of questions, kind of muttered like, oh, I've got a few jobs. I think I can afford a house like this, and you know. Okay, whatever. So we ended in the kitchen. He sat down. I actually had him fill out a registration card, which I would normally do with people, of course, a fake name. And I noticed he had a phone on him that he pulled out, and so he's writing his information down. Stolen phone, maybe his phone, I don't know. And so I gave him a bottle of water, as I would normally. It was very hot that time of month. And with that, I walked him out of here, and my superintendent was on the phone the whole time with me. Okay, so walked him out of here, and with that, I talked to my superintendent, and we decided, let's go around and check the locks, right? So made sure the doors were locked, and made sure the windows were all locked. Interestingly enough, 2 of the bedroom windows were unlocked. So as I'm on with police, he comes back and is banging on the front door. And my superintendent, after I called the police, I called him back, and now he's again on the way coming here, and he goes, well, maybe you should answer it. He's yelling, my phone. So I go to the closet, which is just, it's not even a walk-in closet, it's a regular closet, to kind of crouch down, to stay out of the way of windows in case he were to look in, and to kind of feel a little protected. So within a matter of minutes, he is back again, banging on the front door. And again, my car is parked right across the street from the model, but I can't get out because he's blocking both entrances at this point. Okay, so I'm crouched in the closet. I decide I gotta call my manager and let him know. And so I let him know, hey, I'm gonna get out of here. This is what's going on briefly. And at this point, the guy is really knocking on the door, ding-donging the doorbell, banging, kind of yelling, getting pretty rowdy. And so I'm starting to get afraid. And boy, this is not gonna be a good thing here. So my boss is like, did you call 911? Yes, I called 911. And I decided to call 911 again from my personal phone. And so that is what I think really helped save me, because it escalated it, because I now said, hey, I called a few minutes ago, this is now really freaking me out. This guy I feel is trying to get into the house, he's up to no good. That I think helped. So with that, I hear a noise, and it ended up being a broken window in a bedroom down the hall. It didn't sound like a window to me really at that time, but I heard a noise, and so I'm still crouched in the closet. My sales manager is on my work phone, 911 is on my personal phone, and I'm kind of tucked in the closet. Within a seconds, he was in the house, kicked my work phone to the floor.
He found her in the closet and he ripped her out at this point.
Started strangling me. And, I screamed, kicking, screaming, clawing, saying I called the police. Luckily, not a very big guy, about my height. And I am in the hallway, and there's literally not one thing I can grab to protect myself, not one thing. It's not a fully finished model. So from where I was, not a picture in the hallway, no weapon, no vases, nothing, clear path. And so there were several times throughout the attack that I couldn't breathe, that he had my mouth covered, that he was going for my neck, trying to knock me out, shake my head. And it's horrible. He ripped the back of my dress, and I am just in full attack mode and fighting and doing everything I can. It definitely bothered him when I said that I called the police. And My manager actually heard everything at this point. He was about 10 minutes away, so he ended up coming to the scene too. So at this point, I'm being dragged down the hallway to the laundry room. And I mean, at one point my hands are in his mouth, I'm biting, I'm clawing, and again, everything I can possibly do to fight, I am doing. Going for his eyes, going for his face, I mean, just major attack mode. So I get to the laundry room, which happens to be an internal room in the house. There's two doors, one from the hallway and one going from the laundry room to the master bedroom closet. And so this guy's smart enough to know, as it's dawning on me, he knows what he's doing. You know, he knows where he's at. He's smart enough to unlatch windows. Definitely on a mission, you know. And in the laundry room, that is when, that split second, I was still standing, and I said to myself, oh my gosh, this is gonna be really bad. He is gonna knock you out, he's going to rape you, and he's gonna kill you. And I remember thinking that, and I said, no, you can't think that. You have to keep fighting, you have to buy yourself some time, and I was thinking very clear the whole time. And so with that, he knocked me to the ground, and I was basically crouched up against the door. Both laundry room doors were closed. And I was screaming the whole time, swearing, you know, again, fighting. And when he pushed me to the ground, he had gotten on top of me, straddled me, and again, covered my mouth, squeezing my head, my ears, again, trying to choke me. There were many times, again, that I couldn't breathe, and, you know, I wiggle, move to try to get where I could breathe. And I'm not a big person, but luckily I was strong enough to, you know, get where I could breathe. It's a horrible thing not being able to breathe.
Absolutely.
And I know strangulation is a very serious thing. So anyway, he's on top of me, straddling me. My dress, although it was ripped in the back, was still on me. And he is saying, you know, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna have sex with you, I'm gonna kill you. He's touching himself, his hands are in his pants, and he kept repeating himself many times. I'm gonna have sex with you, kill you.
So, I cut a lot of it out because it's really long, okay? The part of it I cut out is he comes back in and she lets him back in the second time. Because she thought, well, maybe he did leave his son. Why does she do that?
Scared.
Scared, and she's like, you know, what if he lets his phone in? Maybe he did. Because she's a good person, right? And that's what a lot of you would have done too. You know, I wish not. You know, but he didn't attack her the second time. He came back the third time and he's pounding on the door. Boom, 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 my phone, let me in. He's pounding on the door, ringing the doorbell, and all of a sudden she hears that weird noise. He's in the house. Within seconds, he's got her out of the closet and they're fighting. And did you hear what she said about being a model home, brand new model home? What was she looking for?
Weapon.
Anything to smash him with, right? I was so impressed when she said that, because people don't do that. You know, I couldn't even find a picture on the wall or a vase, you know, and she was at least looking for something different, something unconventional like a pen, right? Something that she could use to help defend herself. They're fighting in the hallway. He drags her, pulls her hair, gets her into the laundry room, and smacks her to the ground, and he jumps on top of her. It was about to get really bad, right? Dispatch, so her very first police phone call, it wasn't what we call a priority call. You know, it's just this guy's weird. Can you have someone check him out, right? Cops aren't running code to that. Matter of fact, it's like a 3 or 4 priority call. It's way down in the queue, they call it. Okay, it's way down there. Oh, we'll get somebody over there when we're free. The second phone call, he's back, he's smashing on the door. I'm really scared he's gonna get in the house. Does that change things?
Yes.
it totally changed things in the police mind. Not for her, but in the police mind it does, because now, oh, we got to get there. Lights and sirens, here we come. Okay? I think those 2 phone calls to her manager and her 911 made this scenario obviously shorter for her, and less likely that she was going to get sexually assaulted. She did not get sexually assaulted. Okay? She's so strong. She's so powerful, and it's all in her head. She's not physically strong. She's strong in the head. And that's where you got to be strong if you find yourself in a bad situation and you're fighting for your life. I don't care if you're a guy or girl. It doesn't matter. Your head's got to be right. You know, she said it. Oh, no, this is going to be bad. He's going to kill me and rape me. No. I don't think so. She fixed herself, but she had to, because it more than likely would have happened, right? So when the police get there, so the manager shows up. Police are there. Manager goes, "Why aren't you guys going in?" The officer that's there, I know him, and this does not surprise me one bit. He says, "I have to wait for backup." What?
Wow.
Technically, we're supposed to.
Wow.
You know, technically you're supposed to. Boom! You kick that door, you find him.
Yeah.
You find him, and my camera might get knocked off on accident. I don't know. I've never done that before. But you get in there. The manager's at the side window telling the police, "There's blood on the wall." She's in there. There's a broken window. There's a hole in the wall. There's blood on the wall. You need to get in there. I have to wait for backup. Coward. Okay? And this I know this guy, so I can accurately say that. Police finally get there, knock on the door. This idiot answers the door. He goes and answers the door. No shoes. Answers the door. And they eventually take him into custody. She climbs out the broken window to her manager. And then she breaks down crying. You can't blame her. She cried at the right time. You don't have time to cry while it's happening. That just empowers them. Okay? You don't have time. You have to be stronger than what you believe you are. And everyone in here is. I guarantee it. Your mind just has to be right. So the police, sometimes they have their heads square up their butts. And they did in this scenario. They took her to the substation down the street and interviewed her for 3 hours.
What about him?
They interviewed him too. He was arrested. They did. I went to the. So let me finish that because I want to talk about him real quick. And then, in their infinite wisdom, they took her to the hospital to collect DNA. What? Oh, this DNA is contaminated for 3 hours now. So if they didn't have much and all they had was a DNA of her scratching him under her fingernails, it's contaminated at this point. So we're going to talk about this tomorrow, but I'm going to hit it today in case you don't come tomorrow. If you find yourself in a scenario even remotely similar to this, and the police get there, you absolutely demand that you go to the hospital. They will never tell you, "No, we're going to go to the office first so I can interview you." They will never tell you that. They can't because of liability. She said that she was okay. Medical come and checked her out real quick, and they couldn't tell anything was seriously wrong with her. She felt okay. But how do you know? She was in a knockdown, drag-out fight. Your adrenaline is protecting this. Okay? She's in a knockdown, drag-out fight. She doesn't know that she's not hurt. Thank the good Lord she wasn't severely hurt. She had a bunch of scratches and bruises and deep bruises and stuff. But you demand to go to the hospital, okay? You demand to take that ambulance ride. A couple things happen at the hospital. They're going to get you in. First thing they're going to do is they're going to give you some good drugs to calm you down. Now the cops shouldn't be interviewing you when you're on drugs. They should not be interviewing you when you're on drugs, okay? Because you're not all there. All right? You find someone that you trust, whether it's another cop, you can call me till the day I die, 64 and a half. I have a death date. My life insurance expired at 65. I gotta leave my kids on it. 64 and a half, you can call me till then. I'm just kidding, but you call me if you need someone to talk to. I will ask you questions. When this happened, what did you feel? When he did this, what did you do? Why did you do that? And I'm going to ask you these questions because I want you to have your mind right when you make your official statement to the police. Because once it's recorded on video or written down in a report, it looks really bad if you change it. It looks like you're making stuff up. It looks like you're lying. I want you to have a well thought out statement to the police. And it's not because I don't trust the police, because I'm a fan of most cops. I was a cop for a really long time. And I was telling Mark I'm going back into it. So, you have to do that. You have to take that ambulance ride, please. I got my business cards. They're in my bag, I didn't set them out. I'll give you a business card. It's got my phone number on it. It's got the highlights of what I'm going to talk about tomorrow on the back of it. And one of them is take the ambulance ride. Because I want you to take the ambulance ride. Okay, get away from the scene. When the police show up, they've got things that they got to do. You're going to feel re-victimized. Trust me, they have things that they have to do. We can go over all of that tomorrow. But there's things they got to do, and they're going to take care of you. But they may have to leave you for a second. So don't feel like, oh my God, did they leave me again? They may have to. Okay? The suspect. I was so mad. Oh, it was so good. It took months for me to get back here to talk to her. I went down to the jail to interview him. I don't have privileges anymore because I can't get in on a one-on-one interview yet. It's probably good that I didn't have a one-on-one interview with that guy because I probably would have got arrested that day. To say the least, he's an a-hole. All right? Very narcissistic, very all about himself. I didn't ask him about the event. I was asking him about things just to try to see where we were going to go before I got into this event. Because I can't mess up the court case because I'm not a cop anymore. I'm just a civilian. I can ask him anything I want. He was all about himself, 100% about himself. I stopped the interview. I'm waiting until he gets convicted and goes to prison, and then I'm going to go do a one-on-one interview in prison because I want you, all of you, to see what he says. I want all of you to see why he targeted her. I want all of you to see what he was thinking because it's important. Okay? I know this isn't the best video to watch. I know that. That's in part why I shortened it. But this happened like a mile from this office right here in Las Vegas. July 11th, 2021. Happened right here in Las Vegas. This close to this place. Yeah, she does real estate differently than you do. But is this open house? Isn't that all this is? She does open houses 40 hours a week. Open house is the most dangerous thing that you do. And we're going to have a huge section on open houses tomorrow. And about some things that I know and I've learned from realtors and some stuff that I've come up with that's going to help you be safer in an open house. And it's going to project safety. It's going to project that you're doing things to be safer. And all that matters is that someone that comes in with bad intentions believes that you're doing something to be safer. All they have to do is see a couple different things and they're going, I'm going to get caught. I'm going to go somewhere else. Let's say that happens and they go down the street and they break into it, or they go into another open house and such assault or beat up or rob another realtor. Is that your fault? No. You might have a little what they call survivor's guilt because it didn't happen to you and it could have happened to me, it should have happened to me. You hear that kind of stuff all the time. But it's not your fault. Your job is to take care of you. If the realtor down the street isn't taking those extra steps to take care of themselves, that's on them. Okay? And I promise you, when I started this business, why do you start a business? To make money, right? I will be loaded one day. I ain't even paying the bills right now. Barely paying my bills. But this message has become so important to me. Mark and I are on the same page when it comes to this. I literally just started to do this to make a lot of money. I'm not making a lot of money, I promise you that. I'm $8,000 in debt still. But talking to you folks, talking to realtors around this country is so damn important to me. I was telling Mark this earlier. I come to the one conference 2 years ago, and there was a speaker up there, and he hit me really hard. It's on the way to the airport. One more time. You're good. Okay. I was on the way to the airport and having a conversation with the man upstairs, and I'm being super selfish. Like, Lord, help me with money. I can't handle the money. I'm in that, being super selfish in my prayer to God. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I feel like I get a smack in the back of the head, and I go, you know what? My bad. I'm just sitting on the back of this bus. I'm going to go where you take me, and I'm going to trust in you. okay? I needed this. I get to the conference and there's a speaker and he's up there and says, if your message is on point and you believe in your message, everything will fall into place. And I'm like, is he talking to me? I'm like, holy cow. I just had this conversation with the big man and all of a sudden this guy's telling me to relax. If you believe in what you're doing, you're going to be okay. The next break, a Realty One lady come up to me because she's been to one of my trainings. She asked me, I felt bad, but I was honest. She said, hey Dale, do you remember me? And I'm like, you know, I'm really sorry you look familiar, but I'm not sure. You know? She goes, no. She says, you do a lot of training, so I go to your classes, and she says, I just want you to know that you changed my life. So what did you say to me? She said, you changed my life. And I said, how did I change your life? She goes, I sat in your class, and now I do this, and this differently because of you. Floored me. It changed my entire motivation. I'm not bragging, I'm not telling that to brag. I'm telling you it changed my entire motivation for this training. I'm supposed to be doing this. And if I'm gonna make money, the big man upstairs will push me the right way to make money. If I just break even, I'm okay with that. Because I really, truly believe in the message that I'm gonna give tomorrow. I cut it down to 3 hours. I taught for the LVR, which I will never do again. I taught for the LVR, they demanded it was 3 hours, so I cut it down to 3 hours. It's basically the same information, I just talk a lot faster. I didn't really cut anything out. Tomorrow is not gonna be a death by PowerPoint training. The PowerPoint is just to keep me on task because I will squirrel out, you know? And I still do. But it's gonna be about conversation. We're just gonna have human to human, you know, straight up, no BS conversations about your safety. The most important thing is identify and prevent, right? If you can identify something that's JDLR, just doesn't look right, what is your brain's responsibility? To protect you. Your brain's responsibility is to make sure this is all good. If your brain, and I'll go over this again tomorrow, if your brain is telling you, hey man, this guy's scary, or hey man, something's wrong, listen. Cross the street, go across the street away from this person. Or, not effing today! Something. If you can identify something that looks wrong or feels wrong, you have to avoid it if you can. Why don't we do that? So, scenario, I was in Billings, Montana, and I throw this scenario out there. Okay, you see the scariest human being you've ever seen in your life, and you're walking down the sidewalk, and he's sitting on the sidewalk right there. It's a narrow sidewalk. What are you going to do? Your body is telling, your brain is telling you, oh my God, I'm afraid of this guy. What are you going to do? That's what I want you to do, but nobody says that because I cheated. They said, well, I'm just going to walk by him, and I'm going to, a little while there. I go, why would you do that when your brain is telling you this is a bad guy? Why do people do that? You guys do it too.
Don't want to offend them.
Why? Because you're good in your hearts. Why don't you think about taking this pen and stabbing her in the eyeball? Because you're good people. Good people historically don't do that. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to get you and the folks that come tomorrow to think just a little bit differently. I'm not one you walk down the street trying to plan to kill everybody. Okay? In law enforcement, when you're teaching baby cops to be cops, it's pretty old school. They probably don't say this anymore. Treat everyone like they're your grandmother. I have a plan to kill her. You know, it took that long? I use different verbiage when I speak to other people. But, so, you know, just when you see something that doesn't look right, start making a plan in your head. You know, if she knew this guy was bad, why did she let him back in the house a second time?
Or not have a pen in their hand.
Because she's good in her heart. Okay? She's lucky. Well, I don't know if she's lucky. He didn't do anything the second time he came in the house. She got him ushered out pretty quick. Okay? If you're going to do an open house, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but those who aren't going to be here, have them fill out an interest card and look at their driver's license. Please. It's a super simple, stupid thing to do. How many times do you show your driver's license to strangers? The bank? Okay? You go test drive a car. You know, sometimes write a check. Nobody writes checks anymore, except why they still do. Bars. You know, and you're showing it to complete strangers. So all you have to do is blame your boss. Hey, it's new office policy. When someone comes in, we need them to fill out this interest card, and I just need to confirm it with their driver's license. Okay. anyone with good intentions is gonna go, oh, okay. Right? They got bad intentions, they're gonna say no.
Yeah, I had people like walk in the open house, they don't want the sign, I'm like, I'm so sorry, but here's the sign, seller requires for anybody coming in this house
Yeah.
to sign in.
Good for you. So, it's $25 tomorrow, I think it's less than you paid at the LVR. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna probably even pay for my trip. It's about getting this message out to as many people as I can. I really care about all you folks. I'll grab some business cards. I want you to be safe. I legitimately 100% mean it. You can call me or email me anytime. My email is different on the card. It's basically my company. It's Dale Speaks at frontlinetrainingandconsulting.com. I know it's long. But once you type it in once, you never have to do it again. Or my phone number, and it's still a 702 number. So, any questions for me?
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I hope to see you tomorrow.
You know, it's a heavy subject, really is, and he asked me permission because I knew, I'd seen that video before, he asked me permission to show it. And I absolutely wanted him to show it because this is serious, it really is. You guys need to be really careful out there. So Dale, thank you so much,
Yeah, of course.
I really
I love this place, man.
appreciate it.
This is my 4th or 5th, maybe 6th time being here, and you guys are good to me. I love this place. I love you guys. I love Realty One Group. I love the power and the energy of Realty One. I've been to the conferences a couple times, and I'm like, these are realtors? Holy cow, you know? And I just care about you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if you can make it tomorrow, 9 to 12 CE, like you said, there is a cost to it, $25, but you're going to learn a lot. So